Hi folks, welcome back to Stacey Can Can. Today I am making preserved lemons. These are great to use in like Moroccan cuisine, where you'll have like tangine chicken, and I'm probably saying that wrong, but there you go. In with like your grain type salads with couscous or quinoa or barley. You can put it on top of just regular salads as well. You just end up using the lemon peel when it's all done. So you preserving these with salt just kind of takes out it just juices up the lemon part of it, but it takes out the really tart bitterness, and sometimes bitterness if you throw in the zest and the peel and such. So it's a great addition. You can put it on top of fish. You can put it on top of any salad. Great condiment, great topping. It's quite a versatile dish to have, or preserve to have in your pantry and in your kitchen. So the ingredients we need today are about 10 lemons. This is for this recipe. Another great recipe from the Ball canning book. You also need some canning or pickling salt, canning and pickling salt, which is what this is. I've seen recipes where you can use kosher salt and things like that. This is also a tested recipe, so I'm just using this particular recipe. And sometimes the regular salts can add a little bit of cloudiness and such to the brine when you're preserving. So I often like to use just the pickling salt. It's great for that. And so you'll need a half a cup of this. Optional items to add are bay leaves, cinnamon, and whole black peppercorns. I'm choosing to not use any of those ingredients because I like a little more versatility. I find when I throw in some things like cinnamon into the mix, it really does change the flavor quite a bit, and it sort of limits the usage when I can add cinnamon to a dish if I wanted to. So those are the ingredients that you need. You also are going to need some jars to put or a container of some sort. These are kind of fun. I have some of these that I will probably be storing them in. You also need a muddler, but these types of jars, because we're not water bathing these are refrigeration usage. And see how it's kind of nice to have a little lid here. You can open and close that, and they're great for storing this type of stuff. So because we're not using water bath, you can do different types of jars and such. So it's not going to be shelf stable, but it is going to be. It's great for the refrigerator when it's done. So you need a muddler because we're going to have to tamp things down. You're going to need a knife. You're going to need some measuring spoons, and you'll need a citrus squeezer or juicer of some sort, because we're going to have to juice some of these lemons too. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put a tablespoon of salt into the bottom of this quart jar. And I'll put this off to we're going to leave it right here and put it off to the side. Then the next thing you need to do is you want to cut this blossom end off. This is where the seeded end is. They don't say to cut off this end, but I'm going to. It's a little bit green, and it's just going to be easier to cut the lemons. So, and now you're going to cut them, you're going to quarter them, but you're not going to cut it all the way through. You want to leave it to where it's still attached. And we're quartering it, just leaving it attached. And then you're going to spread this open just a little bit. And we're going to scoop some more of this salt into the middle of the lemon. And it's going to kind of get everywhere, but that's okay. That's kind of the intention too. And you're supposed to put in a tablespoon or so, but it's kind of, you just do your best to get it in there. And once you've got all of the salt inside the lemon here, you want to place it into the jar with the cut end facing upwards. And then repeat. Now after you get one of the lemons into the jar here, you do kind of want to muddle them about. You want to kind of squeeze out as much of the juice as you can. Well, not as much of the juice, but you do want to muddle them a little bit. And then you just place the other one on top and you repeat the process. Now we're going to juice some of the lemons. I've juiced the lemon here, and I'm taking out the seed, one of the seeds. And I did put another half of a lemon in here because it was, the lemons I have are quite full. So now we need to get this up to half of an inch headspace. Before measuring out the rest of the lemon juice to a half-inch headspace, I did pour in the remainder of the salt just to make sure we have the correct amount of salt for this recipe. Then measured the rest of the lemon juice to a half-inch headspace, and now we can put the lid on it. I'll now store this in a cool, dark place, a cupboard, and for 2 weeks, and then you shake it every day. Just give it a good shake, because you'll notice that the salt at the bottom there, it needs to be evenly distributed, or it'll dissolve over time. So, and giving it a shake will evenly distribute the salt throughout the rest of the lemons. Now, this recipe says in 2 weeks, it's ready to go. You take all the lemons out, you rinse them off, you remove the membrane and the pulp and the seeds from here, and then you can slice up then rinse them with cold water, dry them off, and then you can put them in an airtight container, and you're good to go up to 6 months. And then you can slice these up or use them however you want as you go. A lot of the other recipes just say to keep them in the jar until you're ready. You just pull one out when you're ready to use it, and clean it up like that, and then keep the rest in the brine. Because it's a refrigerator, I mean, the recipe here, and it's a tested recipe by Ball, so it's probably best to use it as it says. But there's a lot of recipes out there, and because it's a refrigerated item, I'm not as worried about it. I mean, I think you can kind of taste it, and because some recipes say these are ready to go in a week, some say a month. Maybe you want to test it after 2 weeks, and you might feel that it needs to stay in the solution a little bit longer. It's really kind of up to you on that part. These lemons here, I just used a regular grocery store lemon. These are Meyer lemons. As you can tell, they're a little bit thinner, or obviously a little bit smaller, but I wanted to show you the difference, and how they get kind of translucent looking, and how bright and yellow these are. They do darken up as they're in the solution, and as they soak and get ready for use. And then they're really pliable. They're very squishy and mushy kind of, and they taste delicious. So that is the deal. So those are your options with the lemons. I did go ahead and use organic lemons just because, as we're using the peel only, that just makes me a little more comfortable. If you're going to use conventional lemons, you can pour boiling water over them, and then wipe them off with a dry paper towel to get the wax off of them and such. Or you can check the other options to how to get rid of the outside coating. But I highly recommend that you make sure you wash them very well before you're using them, because you are using the peel itself. So this recipe is, once again, it is from the Ball complete book of home preserving, and its recipe will be listed below. I do like this recipe book a lot. It's a solid one. And then also please like and subscribe my page below as well. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, concerns, by all means you can reach out to me. I'm on Facebook at Stacey CAN CAN. My website is www.staceycancan.com. You can at me on Instagram and TikTok at Stacey CAN CAN, and my email is info@staceycancan.com. So that is preserved lemons. And until next time, happy canning.